You are now watching Xpert's Corner on the DML Network.
Welcome into the DML Network. It's your boy Xpert, and I got the next episode of Xpert's Corner. And you see him on screen. I got a special guest. It's the Madden Bowl Champion 2017. It's none other than Dubby in the building. What's going on, Dubby?
What's up, my guy? How you doing? Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all having me. I'm really excited to talk about some things and, man, get to know y'all and have a good episode.
No doubt. And what was that experience like when you finally won the Ultimate Championship? You still got to have a belt. I know when you was on TV, you was going nuts when you won the championship. What was that feeling like?
Oh, it was great, man. I mean, just between going to the Pro Bowl and winning all those games to get to be in the Final Four and go to the Super Bowl in Houston, it was a big deal to be able to go back and say I beat probably the two best Madden players ever in Skimbo and Problem in two crazy games and two real emotional up and down games. It's just awesome to have a crowd there rooting for me. Just one of the best experiences of my life, and be able to go to the NFL red carpet, the honors ceremony the night before, and meet a bunch of NFL players after I won was a big deal, you know. So it was a great experience. You know, I'm still living off it. Want to kind of try to move on to the future. I mean, you can only keep, you know, reminiscing about past championships so much. Trying to bring another one home here in the Ultimate League. So, you know, that's my goal right now.
No doubt. Definitely have a new run to go on. And you talked about the two craziest games. You get the interception late in the game, and then the very next play you scored a touchdown. I wouldn't have been able to control myself. Is that just you just scout so well? I mean, of course, you know, Problem and Skimbo are all over the place. It's easy to find their games. So was that just something where you knew what was coming and kind of just laid back and waited for him to run that play?
I mean, it's not – scouting always works, you know. Before the game, you got to put as much work as possible as you can before the game. But also, I feel like one of my strengths as a player is recognizing what's going on during the game. You know, just because you watched 1,000 hours of tape or, you know, watch this guy play his last game. I could have sat there and watched Problem play Mo before I played him. Just because you watch that game doesn't necessarily mean that's what he's going to do this game. You have to kind of do scouting within the game. Like my first drive, he did this. My second drive, he did this. Like, and kind of remember it. And that's one of my strengths is remember to look and remember what they did and go back to it later in the game. I mean, I knew that play was going to be open. I was actually inside my own 10-yard line. So a lot of times I say, you know, when you get the ball inside the 10-yard line, you kind of got to be aggressive. Forget about where you are, because if you get nervous, oh, I'm on the 4-yard line, the camera looks different, I can't pass, it's a tough spot, then you're going to play like it. You have to go out there, let your nuts hang, and go ahead and make a big play. And that's what I did. And I mean, it worked out perfectly for me, man. The Lord was on my side, and you know, I'm really blessed that I was able to come out with that victory.
No doubt. And y'all have got to tune in to Dubby's Twitch, as he plays Madden quite a bit, and I've seen him wreck some kids on Madden. It's really not fair sometimes. Even some of his friends that he invites to come play, and they just continue to come and get their head bashed in. But you got to check him out on Twitch. Dubby, tell him what your Twitch name is so they can all tune in to you.
I mean, it's twitch.tv/DubDot. That's all, DubDot. That's it. So check it out. You know, I love playing Madden all months of the year. I mean, a lot of people say Madden is dead, but as a Twitch streamer, you got to try to find that love for the game and keep it going. You know, you're always finding new things in the game, whether it be June, July, August. You know, you always got to challenge yourself and keep the game entertaining. I mean, it's easy to quit, but I mean, if you want to make a career out of it, if you want to be a streamer in Madden, you got to push through when other people aren't, you know. So that's what I like to do even this time of year with the Madden.
Yeah, and does a great job and very active on his Twitch game. But let's get into these topics, and we're going to talk something that I know you're very passionate about. It's everything Philly. And this has been the year of Philadelphia. Now, as a Cowboy fan, I had to put the Cowboy hat on since we're going to talk Eagles for a little bit. But what is that feeling like when your Philadelphia Eagles finally won the championship with the backup quarterback?
I mean, it was amazing. I mean, for me personally, I'm 30 years old. You know, I tell people I was an Eagles fan way before I was a Madden player. You know, that's kind of one of my passions in life when I was, you know, 13, 14, and 15. You know, for them to be so close and, you know, almost getting there And for the year where I was this heavily involved in Madden and this heavily involved with the NFL, essentially, I had the finances to be able to go to the Super Bowl. And for the first time in my life, this year was the only year I'd ever be able to go to the Super Bowl. The NFC Championship game, I was there in Philadelphia, and it was just a blessing for me. It kind of represented where I was in life. And for them to go ahead and win that, and me to be in the building and on the field when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, I mean, it's just, astronomically a blessing for me, and I can't get over it. It was just amazing feeling for myself.
Yeah, you're on the field, you got the confetti, you're taking pictures. I mean, just a great experience, especially with their backup quarterback, Nick Foles. Now, is Nick Foles the quarterback or Carson Wentz? I know that's a dumb question, but Nick Foles put the city on his back when Carson Wentz went down.
Yeah, Nick Foles played very well. I mean, I was very nervous. I mean, watching Nick Foles, he played three games in the regular season. The first game was the Giants game. He looked okay. He put up with some decent points. But then he came back with a Raiders game, a Cowboys game, where he just looked shaky, man. I was really nervous. The first half of the divisional round versus the Falcons, he looked really bad. But I got to give a lot of credit to Coach Peterson and the offensive staff. They really used what Nick Foles does well. They realized, let's not try to force Nick Foles into our offense. Let's make our offense around what Nick Foles does well. And that's really what propelled the Eagles offense to really get the momentum. In the second half of the Falcons game, he looked really sharp. The NFC Championship game, I mean, I was nervous about that. He was unreal. Everybody on the Eagles team just really stepped up to another level. And the Super Bowl to go there and outduel Tom Brady, I mean, I never thought we would have won like that. I was nervous about the game, obviously, facing the Patriots, Bill Belichick. I was like, man, this is going to look dark. If we had Carson, it would look good, but I don't know if Foles can do it. And he was just unreal, I mean, and, we're glad to have him, be able to have a backup quarterback. But like I said, the coaching staff really needs to get a lot of credit because they really cater the offense to what he does good. And it really worked out well for him. He played the game of his life in the Super Bowl.
No doubt. And they look tough going into next year, especially since they may add Dez Bryant. I'm just messing with you, Dubby. I know you don't want Dez on the squad. But let's talk 76ers because they got a chance to shock the world and win them an NBA championship. But then the old Dwayne Wade showed up in game 2 and just shot lights out. Is this series over when Embiid comes back?
I mean, we'll see. It's 1-1 right now. I think Dwayne, like you said, Dwayne Wade really balled, and I think the Sixers got to make an adjustment to that. I'm really happy with the Sixers right now. I think their team is very solid. I mean, they have obviously, and once Embiid gets back, I feel like that they really have a chance to make a run in the East. I think they have the best depth in the East, and obviously two of the best players in the East, in Ben Simmons and Embiid. I mean, this series is going to be tough. I mean, Spoelstra, he doesn't get enough credit for how good of a coach he is. Obviously, he's under Pat Riley, who's one of the best coaches ever. So, he comes from that tree, and they really changed the game plan. And honestly, I really think Brett Brown got out-coached in game 2, along with the Sixers shooting like 7 for 36 from 3, which is just an anomaly. They're not going to shoot that bad because I really feel they're the best shooting team in the East between Bellinelli and Redick. I really think that they can shoot very well. So I think that was, an anomaly, and also Dwayne Wade putting up 28 points. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. But we'll see if he can continue to do that. I don't think he can. So we'll see how the series goes. Really looking forward to Embiid getting back because he's the only player on the Sixers roster that can kind of get his own bucket. Everybody else is dependent on the offensive flow, but Embiid is the one that can get his own bucket. And you can see the playoffs as a half-court game. So getting him back in the lineup, they said he's doubtful for tomorrow night, game 3. So we'll see how it works out, but I'm ready for him to get back in the lineup for sure.
Yeah, if you look at Embiid's Twitter, he definitely wants to play in game 3. He's tired of sitting down and basically told Miami, you just living on borrowed time at this point until I step back on the floor. But one last thing, a little nick in the Philadelphia armor. Colin Cowherd. What is up with Colin Cowherd? He hates Philadelphia. He either got a bad cheesesteak sandwich one time in Philly, or a girl that was from Philadelphia broke his heart because he hates your city. Why is that?
I mean, Colin Cowherd, he's a California guy. He's a LA guy, Showtime type, fancy, Hollywood, sunshine. So, that's kind of the opposite of Philadelphia. It's the opposite of New York. It's the opposite of Boston. You go with the pretty good bright lights, the shiny sunshine of LA, to the grit and blue collar of the East Coast. And, we're kind of on top right now. And LA has really nothing to talk about. Their basketball teams are bad. Football teams they're just getting new football teams. It's not a football city. You know,
Right.
USC was the biggest football show in town for 20 years. And, you know, they're kind of terrible now for the last decade. So LA really has nothing to really root for. So, you know, obviously he sees a town in Philadelphia that's really on the top of the sports world right now for the last, 4 months. And, you know, he's kind of mad about it. I don't know why he hates us so much, but I mean, just his disdain for the city and you know, is really disappointing to me. And, you know, he has a voice. A lot of people listen to him. So, you know, it's disappointing for to see him have that much hate for a city and a fan base that, you know, really hasn't had anything. Can we have our moment in the sun? You know what I mean? Like, we've been out here struggling. We've been out here fighting and getting little nicks and necks. And then we really start popping off. And for someone to just show that much hatred towards us is disappointing. I'm really not a fan of his anymore at all.
Yeah, dude is a world-class hater. And you're right, he has a big voice and everybody listens to him. But that's okay because Philadelphia right now is on top. And that, as much as a Cowboy fan, that hurts me to say, they on top. They got the best football team in the world. They have one of the top basketball teams in the world. Now if we can just get the Phillies to wake up and do something on that baseball diamond.
I mean, the Phillies on the way up though, man. Don't sleep on the Phillies. They got a lot of young players. They got Hoskins, who's one of the best young players in the MLB. They got this new Scott Kingery kid, this young kid. They signed him already for long term. He's balling. Bunch of outfielders. Need a couple pitchers, but I really like the direction the Phillies are going in. You know, so the next couple of years they're going to be on the come up.
Listen, if y'all don't know, Dubby loves Philadelphia sports. He loves it, lives and breathes and dies Philadelphia sports. But let's talk about something else that you've started that's really important to you, and it's the needed movement. Explain to the viewers, what is the needed movement that you started?
I mean, it's just something. I mean, Madden 16, honestly, I've made my name in Madden 17 and had a very successful Madden 18 so far, and that's still going on. But Madden 16 was probably still my best year, even though I laid down in the MCS tournaments, the online ones. But I was streaming, a lot of people knew that, you know, and needed had become my slogan when I was streaming. Whenever you get the fumbles, you know, the tip picks, whatever little fluky thing man can get you. So people kind of knew me, you know, I was anonymous for that. So that kind of became my slogan. And I remember I went down to Madden Bowl. I didn't have any shirts or anything. You know, I thought about it a long time after I made the live event. Man, I should get some shirts. I should do that. But, like, my confidence, I was like, man, I don't want to look like an asshole with a shirt and this, that, and the third and lose. But I remember that, like, the day of the games, I had went to some T-shirt shop down there in Orlando. Like, I just Googled it and went and found it. Got my T-shirts made, the basic ones that had said need that I wore in Madden Bowl. And, you know, then I wound up winning. You know, I just put the confidence in myself that day to just run with it. Then I went to Houston. I got another shirt made, embroidered need on my hat. And, you know, it's just the way to go. I mean, I want to make this my career, and the way to do it is to make a business, make everything you do for Madden, you know, business related, and to continue to keep growing, you know, and that's pretty much my goal. And I've been putting in the effort to really keep growing, both as a business, as a streamer, as a content creator, because I want to, you know, create revenue in every aspect of Madden, eventually every aspect of gaming. And, you know, my success in Madden is just my foot in the door of what, you know, the possibilities gaming has nowadays. You know, it's bigger than life right now, and, you know, I just want a piece of the pie, and I'm doing the best I can to achieve that for my success.
Yeah, so I don't know if y'all heard what he said, but needed, it's about that mindset that Dubby has, and it's about going and getting everything that he possibly can get. And it's blown up. You got a lot of people that are joining the needed movement. I've seen other football gamers, you know, Skimbo. I saw Skimbo the other day. He's talking about needed. You got so many different YouTube guys that are talking about the needed movement. What does that mean to you when you see some big names jump on that bandwagon on something you started just off your catchphrase when you playing a football game and you get that big play? Now you see guys jump on that wagon. What is that like for you?
I mean, it's great. I mean, obviously Skimbo's my guy. He supported me from the beginning, you know, even back in the last summer when nothing was really popping, I didn't have a business. So he's always been my friend. He's always supported me, you know, and he had nobody else giving him no offers. He's one of the best players in the world, if not the best player. And so he said, I'm going to just support my friend. So that, obviously Skimbo means the world to me. But other peers of mine, that's, I mean, obviously you're going to have fans. You're going to have people that support, buy your T-shirts, be in the chat, all this. But when my peers, you know, I've seen a lot of people, you know, wear my shirts that compete against me. You know, people doing the same thing as me and, you know, in the same field as me that support me. That's what means the world, you know, because they're like essentially my enemy or my rival. And for them to see what I'm doing and see what I'm trying to gain in this sport and in this, you know, field, that's what means the world. And a couple people, I mean, obviously Ghost, he supported me a lot. He's been very successful, the club champion. He's still alive in the Ultimate League. He supported me. My guy Musafa, he's definitely supported me, and I actually play him in the playoffs this weekend. But he's worn a lot of my shirts at live events. I mean, that just really means the world to me. I mean, because, you know, without the support from them and fans, I can't do anything successful in this field. So that's what I need the most.
Man, it's awesome seeing real respect, especially against guys that are battling for money, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, but still show that respect and that love, because y'all are such a tight-knit group at the top there through that Madden community. All right, where can guys go and get your needed shirts and your hats?
I mean, you can go get shirts at neededgamingstore.com. You know, I have all types of shirts on there, whatever you want. Got shirts that represent your city, you know, basic black and white. I got a bunch of colors. Got salute to service shirts with the flag and you know, the camo on there. Whatever, you know, fits your style, you can go ahead and check it out. Going to try to add more and more as we grow bigger and bigger in this field. And I mean, that's the goal.
No doubt. You guys got to go on there, support the homie Dubby, and get those needed shirts. And it's not just about Madden. It's about life, that mentality of needed in life. All right, man. Last topic. You put a hashtag out called Save Madden 19. Okay. What is that all about? What is it going to take to save Madden 19 according to Dubby?
I mean, the hashtag, the topic is essentially like, as a competitive player and a successful one, I feel like I have a voice in the community. I have a voice that, you know, people may listen to at EA. I can talk directly to people at EA, the game makers, you know, the people that develop the format for the MCS. So I have a direct line to them. So it's essentially a way to be a conduit for the smaller people, you know, that don't necessarily, you know, have that same line, and kind of ask people like, what do you think can make the game better? You know, what do you want in the game? What improvements do you want to see? What do you think was bad in Madden 18, and what do you want to see improve? You know, so that's kind of what Save Madden 19 is. It's kind of just, you know, us as competitive players that have a voice, that get listened to, that can have an impact on the game, kind of try to be the conduit for the smaller guys. You know, I'm not the biggest person in the world. I'm not a YouTube guy that has tens of thousands of followers on Twitter, this, that, and the third. But I have enough to where I can, you know, I get listened to, but I also can hear the smaller guy, you know. So I feel like myself, I'm in a great position to kind of relay the message from other people that love Madden like I do, and try to find the things that you know, that they want in the game, or they want removed from the game, that can make it a more enjoyable experience for them. Because ultimately, the more people that play Madden, the more people that pay attention to Madden, the more successful I can be. You know, the better this game does, the better I do, and you know, the better my career in the gaming industry will be. Because although I can play other games, I can have fun on other games, there's nothing that drives my passion like John Madden football, and that's what I want to succeed. I don't want to have to go to another game to get viewers or get content or all this. I want to help grow Madden as best I can, and that's ultimately my goal. When I leave this game, I want it to be better than when I came into it.
Man, knowledge. You're getting on knowledge on Xpert's Corner today. Okay, so you got to give me one thing you want to see change in Madden 19 that would make it better for you.
I think the biggest thing in Madden since I want to say maybe 3 years ago, where you can hold a button to catch the ball. And I've tweeted this multiple times, like the whole aspect of holding Y on defense to catch an interception, and having your linebacker jump up and maybe catch a ball that you weren't even necessarily trying to defend. And even on offense, man, when you hold Y and your receiver just does the entire animation for you, or you hold A and you get the possession catch. I mean, back when I first started playing on PlayStation, man, you could just manipulate your receiver and just out-user somebody. If they didn't have the right user on defense, but they were going to give up a big play to some type of user catch. You know, and that's pretty much how it was when I first started playing Madden, you know, especially competitively. In Madden 08 and Madden 09, man, it was pretty much just user catch, up and down the field. Now it's nothing like that. There's no way to really dictate, you know, to really show that, man, this guy's he's really skilled with his user catch. He really, you know, stick skills are out of this world, that much better than his opponent. There's no way to really see that. And I think that's an aspect that can really, you know, widen the skill gap everybody talks about, is if you can really control your wide receivers and you actually have to anticipate in time when you're going to get an interception on defense. I think that's the biggest thing they can fix for me personally to really make the game better.
No doubt. Got to be the most frustrating thing, throwing the post route and watching a linebacker jump 8 feet in the air and grab an interception.
Oh, for sure.
When in real life, he has no chance at that play whatsoever.
Yep.
Definitely frustrating. All right. So you talked about changing that. So how have you been so successful in 18? Is it just that you kind of understand how to adapt your game to how the game is being played? Really, if we talk about it, you probably one of the best quarterback scramble / running guys in the game right now. Love to take off with the QB. Is that just something where you understand how the game is being played and it caters to how you adjust to be successful in Madden 18?
I mean, it was something. I mean, I'm not necessarily my whole man. I mean, obviously, I played Madden for over a decade, and it's not necessarily something where I always scramble with the quarterback early in the year. But I think in the beginning of the year this year, it was Seattle Seahawks because of Earl Thomas. You had to use them to have great defense. And Russell Wilson was mobile, and it was hard to play offense because their offensive line wasn't good. Their receivers are quick, but they're not amazing. And the zones were once they made the first patch after the first month and they made the zones really start jumping everything, it was hard to pass, especially Seattle versus Seattle. So, I mean, if you gave me an opportunity to go get 10 yards with Russell Wilson, I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. So When I snapped the ball, that's one of the first things I looked for early in the year. And I honestly, scrambling with Russell Wilson and playing defense with Seattle really propelled me in the Madden Classic for a Final Four finish. So, and that kind of moved on to, I played with Derek Carr a lot in MUT, and then once I got Michael Vick, I mean, it's just such a weapon, and it's kind of, for me, scrambling with the quarterback is kind of a numbers game, whereas if you're not going to spy me, then you're going to be blitzing me, and then I'm going to take off and scramble. So, but if I make you, designate a certain player for a spy, that takes away from your coverage, it takes away from your pass rush, it weakens your defense. So I feel like it just, if you have to use a mobile quarterback because it's just another threat you can oppose to the defense, and make them commit more of their 11 players to your quarterback. Either blitz more people, leave passing lanes open, or put a spy and lessen the pressure on the quarterback. So I just think it's a weapon that everybody should implement into their game, and I found a great way to do it this year, and I've been very successful with it because honestly, like you said, depth in your game, I wish I would have changed the game a little bit more. It's good for runners this year. Passing's a lot harder. But, I think I've had success in Madden this year just because I'm smart and I never kill myself. And I think that's a testament to a smart, good Madden player. And somebody like me that's old, I'm not going to kill myself. I'm going to make you kill me. And that's what's led to so much success this year.
No doubt. Running with the quarterback and hanging your hat on that defensive side of the football make you very, very successful. All right, guys, you just got free chicken for the rest of Madden 18 from Dubby, none other than himself. All right, man. I can't thank you enough for jumping on the show. One of the things that people really don't understand is that the Madden community, maybe sometimes we look at the competitive guys and think, oh, man, I can't get to that level, or, man, I can't even talk to those guys. Man, you've been real from day one. When I reached out to you the first day, hit me right back like, hey, man, let's get something going. And that's something I got huge respect for. I know when I talk to all the guys in the Dynasty in my CFM League about, hey, guys, man, this guy Dubby is on board and just was real from day one. Everybody was super excited. So I appreciate you jumping on, taking time out of your day. I know you had a hard day at work, came home and jumped right on the camera and did Xpert's Corner, man. I appreciate that.
I appreciate y'all for having me, man. If I can't, talk to those smaller people, I mean, those are the people, like I said, I need to, if I'm gonna be successful, I need everybody to support. I need to grow the game as best I could, man. People that don't necessarily have the eye for competitive Madden, I want to open the eye and allow people to see, the level at which we play this game, and they can respect it and also really, enjoy it, because I need competitive Madden to grow. Madden's so huge. There's so many people that play Madden, but only a fraction of those people actually get into the competitive side. And ultimately, I need to do as much as I can to grow, to get more people watching competitive Madden. So anything anybody asks me to do to talk about Madden or anything, I'm all for it. Anybody want to ask me any tips or anything, I'll try to help people as much as I can, because that's a position I'm in, and who knows how long I'll be in this position, and I want to use it to the best of my ability. No doubt. So make sure y'all reach out to Dubby on Twitter. What is the Twitter handle, Dubby? It's DubDotDubby. That's all. That's the name I'm going by. DubDotDubby. Yep. That's been my gamer tag for 15 years now. So yeah, no doubt. Make sure y'all give him a follow. Y'all being supported on homie. He's got a big game coming up this weekend. Make sure you tune in. All right, man. I'm gonna let you get out of here as we step into Xpert's Thoughts. Appreciate you jumping on. Thank you. All right, guys. Last segment of the show, Xpert's Thoughts. And we'll start with Dubby's game coming up.
You guys need to go to EA Sports _Madden Ultimate Team. EA Sports _MUT. Fill your bracket out. You have a chance to get a Randy Moss elite player for your Madden Ultimate Team by just filling the bracket out correctly and picking a winner. And I promise you, picking Dubby's not a bad choice. The homie is in the 3rd position. So you gotta go support the homie. Last Xpert thought. God of War comes out tomorrow. If you do not have this game pre-ordered, stop what you're doing and go get it. God of War is going to be amazing. You will see the homie Xpert twitching the game as soon as I get home from work tomorrow. I appreciate y'all tuning in. It's been Xpert's Corner. I'm your boy Xpert, and I'm out.